Hello everyone and welcome back to the second part tutorial of how to create this abstract kind of tutorial whatever. um, well, not how to make the tutorial but how to make this abstract kind of art. So let's start off by creating a new camera into the scene. This will be the first step, which is very important. So I created a camera and it's down there where the grid is. So you want to make sure it's selected. And if it's not, you can always check and use the outline in order to check your camera to select it. And then you go over panels here, look through selected. Now you want to position the camera. You're going to zoom out just as you toggling inside your viewport, and just position it in a way that you can see the entire scene, the objects in a position that basically what I'm pointing to is that I will be able to see some of the blue areas or green kind of areas and the whites as well. So let's say that this position is good for us, and we're going to apply this little icon here, which is the frame gate. Okay, actually resolution gate. And resolution gate basically means that whatever is inside your frame here, this frame, not this here, whatever is inside this area will be render out. So now I'm gonna do a little bit more tweaking to the camera zoom as well as the angle. And when I'm satisfied with that, I'm gonna go over view, bookmark, edit bookmark, click new bookmark, and now you can assign any name for it. So position will be good, and position 1, and hit the enter and close. Now whenever you toggle the camera in all sort of ways, I don't know, you can go over view, bookmarks, choose position, and it will bring it back to this bookmark. Okay, so with that done, we can actually start and building up our scene in a way that we will be able to render all the layers that we need into finally edit in Photoshop all the layers together. So we will start off by creating wireframes for each one of those. Now we'll take this thing. This should be the glass material, okay? And you're gonna open the channel box here, okay? And through that channel box, you have the display tab here, and you will have this icon. So while this selected, you're gonna click on this, and it will add this item into this layer. So now you can toggle this on and off. Now, you're gonna grab this one and do the same, okay? And now, at the same time, you're gonna copy this one here, Control D to duplicate this, okay? And it will automatically be selected, the duplicated item. So you're gonna add this into a new layer. So basically we have two layers which has this one and one layer that has this one. Now the reason I created these is one, to rename those, is just not to get confused and make your life easier on this. So this one will be the glass for sure, and we're gonna save this. And this one will be beauty wireframes, okay, wireframes, save. And this one will be only beauty, okay, and save. So the purpose of having three is just to get wireframes from this glass and from this glass. Okay, I'm gonna do another layer for this glass. So Control D to duplicate this one and add it to a new layer. Okay, and we will call this one glass wires. Okay, so you can middle mouse click, hold and drag, and remove this underneath. Now with that done, basically we have two copies of each, and we're going to deal them that way. I'm going to grab this glass, okay, glass wires, right click, choose add selected object, sorry, select objects, and it will select the P plane, okay. Now if I'm going to select this glass and select objects, it will select the P plane too, okay. Again, right click on the glass layer, select objects, it's P-plane 2, but if I'm going to do right click on this one and select object, it tells me that it's P-plane 4. So that's confirming that these each on each layer. Okay, so for the glass wire, right click, select object. You're gonna make sure that this is the one. You're gonna turn off all the others. Okay, again, select object, make sure that it really is, and right click, choose assign favorite material, use background. Okay, this will replace the dielectric material on top of it to this use background shader. Now with this shader, what you want to do, you want to go over Window, Setting Preferences, and Rendering Editor, Hypershade. And here on the tabs, choose Shading Group and choose the Use Background. When you choose this, this will pop out and you will be able to expand the mental rate tab here. Click Enable Contour Rendering, white color for the wireframes, alpha set to 1, and the width, you want to change it to 0.2. And you can do experiment and do 0.1 or 0.3, but this is the acceptable width for your wireframes. With that done, I'm going to close this Hypershade. I'm going to go over render settings, so you can open it with this take in gear icon, or you can go over Window, Rendering Editor, Render Settings. Okay, now whatever we're going to do now is only for the wireframes. So whatever we're going to do now, basically we will need to switch back to earlier settings later on whenever we want to render the glass material and the beauty material. So first of all, Common tab, change, scroll down, and where it says image size, change this to HD 1080. Okay, and scroll, go over quality, where it says legacy option, expand and change the sampling mode into legacy sampling mode. And then I'm not sure that this is a must, but max sample level of 2 will be great for us. And for the configuration tab, scroll all the way down, choose contour and enable contour rendering, hide the source so only the wireframes will be rendered out, and also oversample of 3, and expand the draw by property and choose around all polyfaces. Close this, and now we are good to go and render the first render of our wireframes. Now, before I'm going to do this, I'm going to mention something. Right now, this object is smoothed preview, basically by pressing 3. Okay, if I press 1, this is how my edges will come out. Okay, whenever you render wireframe, this method of the contour method, you need to be aware that if you aren't going to use the smooth preview, whatever you see on your port view, this is what you will get. If you press 3 and smooth preview this, you will get much more edges than you see right now on your viewport, but it will actually be smoothed and not with hard edges as in non-smooth preview mode. Okay, so press 3 and let's go and render this. So click render and wait for a few seconds. It's going to render as it was a material, but it will change to wireframes. Okay, I'm going to file, save image, and go over my desktop where I created folder for this. So there is the abstract tooth, but if you don't have any other folder, you can click here on this little icon. It will create a new folder, assign a name to it, and enter it, and then save. So abstract tooth, and I'm going to call this glass wireframes. Okay, and save it as PNG. Save. This done, you can go and close this. Back to the channel box. I'm gonna hide this layer now, and we will go to our beauty wireframes layer. Make it visible, select it, right click, assign existing material, which is the use background for the wireframes. So change the material on it and click render. Now, by default, the camera should be set correctly. So if you haven't moved it, everything is good. So basically we render two different wireframes, one for the beauty and one for the glass. Now, the reason I'm doing this is mainly for you. So if you want to add wireframes on the glass or the both of them, or I don't know, whatever you want, you can use this. So this will be the beauty wireframes, okay? And save this as well. That done, you can close this, shut off this one, and bring back the glass. Now the glass material already has the dielectric material. Hopefully, if I haven't confused you already, and because I remake this tutorial part at least 3 times already because I have some issues with my memory on my computer. So basically you need to apply a dielectric material, and I think that we already done this in the first part. Not sure about that, but hopefully we did. Anyway, with that said, we're going to go over the render settings. And what we want to do here is we want to change back things. So at the first, at the common, we're going to apply something with which we haven't already. So the render options, the enable default light should be turned off for the glass, okay? Only for the glass render. And then change to quality, and where it says legacy sampling mode, basically in the legacy options, you want to change it to unified sampling, and on the fly, scroll back up and change the overall quality to 2 or 1.8, 1.7, 1.2, everything will be good. This is good for us, and we can go over configuration, and we want to disable the contours. So you want to disable this thing, and hopefully I didn't forget anything, so we can close this. Now, one more thing, because this is a glass material and because this is not a wireframes, you don't need to use the smooth preview. You can already go and choose mesh smooth, okay? So smooth it one time, and from here type in 2, okay? Don't do huge steps because it will simply take time to calculate this, and probably if your system isn't have much resources for this, it will make Maya crash. 1 or 2, it's really enough, and now we can go and render this out. Okay, so we're gonna render the glass material, click render, and we will wait. Okay. By the way, right now, as the background is our IBL, the image-based lighting, which we apply the HDRI map on the first part of this tutorial, basically is used as our background, at least for this render. Now, whenever we're going to save it as PNG, the entire background will be transparent, as well as this material. Now, in other tests of mine, whenever I try to use the Maya Material X, for instance, instead of the dielectric material, what happened is that the entire glass wasn't that transparent at all, actually. So it didn't serve much good to me. So this is why I decided to use the dielectric material instead of the other one. But it's something related to passes or whatever things that right now I don't want to deal with, and I prefer to make it much more easier. So let's save this image. File, save image. Let's call this glass, and that's it. Okay, make sure it's PNG and save this. And really, from here you can be sure that it will be transparent, and you will see only highlights and stuff like that. So everything is good. We're gonna continue, and we're gonna go and apply our hide the glass material there and expand and make the beauty visible. Now I have a problem with the beauty. I need some lights to it. I also need lights for the other things, but right now the beauty is much more under my concern, and I made few tests about with this and not always stay satisfied with it. So I'm gonna probably do some changes from now on, and you just note whatever I did, and that way you will be sure exactly what to do on or not. But most of what will gonna happen from here is try and error, and this is why I suggest you just sit back, relax, take a note, write down everything, and or just, I don't know, see how it fits you. But I'm gonna do some try and errors here. So as for beginning, I'm gonna grab my shape here, which I'm gonna open the attribute editor for it, and I'm gonna scroll to my materials, which are here, and I want to make sure that the reflectivity here is high. Okay, something like it was at the beginning, and the glossiness high to 1, and I'm gonna render this. Okay, so let's render. Okay, so you can already see that we have a problem here with whatever it happens here, though it looks nice, but this is not what I was pointing to. And by the way, you can smooth this as well. Okay, so let's move this at least by 1 or 2 and wait. And the problem with this color right now is that I may used something here which shouldn't be used, or maybe something about my render settings. Let's bring back the default light. Okay, let's try and render this. All right, now it looks much better. Though I'm not really big fan of whatever you see here. Okay, but sure looks good. We're gonna save this. Okay, the reason I'm saving this is because I want to test some of them. So beauty, save it. Later on we will do beauty 1 and beauty 2 and so on. Now with that done, I'm gonna go and try and do a different color for it. So a way you can easily change colors on object that you already have 2 different colors assigned to is to go and open the Hypershade rendering editor, Hypershade. Okay, and you choose the color that you want to change, this one, right? And you can simply go and change it like so. Okay, this is not what I wanted to show you, but anyhow, um, yeah, never mind. So leave it, leave it. That's okay. I'm gonna change reflectivity here a little bit, and let's see. Maybe the BRDF. I'm gonna use a Fresnel reflection, and let's try and render this. I think I like this one much better. Let's save this image and call this beauty 2. Well, beauty 1. Save. And now I'm gonna bring this color back to what it was. Maybe this one will look good. Let's do some other. Okay, so right now we are using the image-based lighting as our main light source, but you can always change to area lights and do some different things in order to get different results. And we will do this right away after I will save this image. So beauty 3, or sorry, beauty 2, save. And now I'm gonna take zoom out. I'm gonna go over create light, area light, and the area light by default should come as with our our move tool. But if you press T, you will get this anchor point, and basically another angle. So we have the light source here, which is assigned with this icon, okay? And this is the anchor point, and I want this light to be here up ahead from this side and pointing to that area where the blue color is, bluish color. Now, from here, you want to press 7, okay? And you will be able to see how the lights perform in this area. But you want as well to change the decay rate of this light to quadratic. And instantly, because of this low value, it will dimmed off. So you need to assign something like 1000 here. And if this is not enough, basically right now the IBL is not helping us see the lights, how the lights perform, but you can scale this up. You can see how the object is lighten up. So we want something that is more of like that, not blown like that, but something more of like that. Now, with that done, I'm gonna duplicate this light, Control D to duplicate this, and switch to T, press T, and move only the light towards this area, and like so. Okay, now I don't want to face this that way, which you can do, but lower it down to 500. Okay, that will be less brightened. Control D to duplicate this, and you can even add different light source to the same bluish area from another angle just to get maybe other results. Now I'm going to go back over my camera bookmark and I'm going to render this, but be aware that I'm going to change a few other things later on. So let's render this one and see the result. I think I like that one better, though it's a little bit burned in those area, but it's pretty nice. It's not bad. You can see highlights in all sort of points here. Sorry, file save here, save image, beauty 3, save. And let's close this. Now I'm gonna try this entire set with a little bit of changing here. I'm gonna go back to the material, and where it says BRDF, well, it's already used Fresnel reflection, so I don't want to touch this anymore. But I do want to eliminate my IBL. Okay, so I'm gonna open the render settings, and through the scene, you can go over image-based lighting and click delete. Okay, close this. Now only those 3 lights will really affect this. So view, camera, bookmark position, and choose to render this. Now don't worry about the background. The background will remain the same, though I do recommend you, at least for this, both glass material and the beauty, to try different HDRI maps. So don't stick up only to the studio ones. You can do environment kind of HDRI pictures and things sort of this. So let's try beauty 4, save this, and click save. Okay, for the sake of this tutorial, we're gonna do just one more thing. I'm gonna create a new, well, a new plane, and I'm gonna scale this plane that way. I'm gonna move it downwards, and I'm gonna have a background for it. Okay, so moving this, right click, choose vertices. I'm gonna grab all the entire vertices here, rotate them in this direction, sorry, that way, and let's grab these 2 lines, rotate them and pull them up. Okay, so these 2 can moved this direction, and you can grab these last ones here and maybe stretch them over here. Press F8. First, use your camera and then stretch this so it will cover the entire frame here. And we have one problem here. There are two sides for this. If I'm going to press 6 to eliminate the light, you can see that this side is gray and this side is black. That means that the normals are facing the camera right now, and this is how it should be. But if this is not the case for you, you either physically rotate this and do this, but you don't need to. You go over mesh display and reverse the normals of the selected object. So sorry, 1 second. Cigarettes, a little bit of problem. Now I'm going to assign existing material for this one, which will be the first white one. Okay, now you know what? Well, that's fine. Let's try this. View, camera, position, and let's render this. Now there's going to be tons of light here, so sorry about that. Maybe I will need to reduce the light's intensity in this particular render. And maybe I won't. I don't know. But it's rendering. Nah, I don't like it already. I'm gonna press escape to stop this. I'm gonna assign a new material to it. Assign new material, mental ray, my material X, change it to white. And I'm gonna leave the reflectivity. Well, I'm gonna lower it a little bit, but I'm gonna save it that way. And then I will take the render. Okay. Sorry, sometimes it's not exactly how I want it to be, but let's hope that it will. I know what's the problem. Let's escape this. And you select the background polyplane and you want to go over render states. And you want to tell Maya to not cast shadow on top of it from it, okay? And receive shadows, okay? So the only purpose of this is to be a blank kind of background. So white blank. The only problem right now is that I see the light, how it's performing there, and I don't like the way it's performing there. I don't like this, spotlight there. And I can see a reflection on top of it, so maybe I will turn the reflections. It's mainly caused of the reflections. Let's grab this. Let's change the materials, reflectivity to 0, and don't need the first. No, let's try. Let's press 7. I'm gonna grab this light here and I'm gonna scale this up. I don't know, for some reason the highlights here are not performing that good. So trying to adjust it into different angles can give you different results here. I'm looking for highlights, but I need the camera to be in a way that I can see those highlights. So it really depends. Let's say that way. Okay. Mental array. Let's choose use light shape. Let's change here 8 by 8 by 16 and try and render those. Okay, I think, but that, by the way, it's just a little bit too much for this tutorial. I know that you can experiment this on your own, but I'm just giving you a hint on how to adjust things a little bit in different ways that probably will give you different result and something that more suits your own, um, preparations or desires. I don't know. Too bright, too bright. And I don't like the background to be that dark, so one more thing, by the way, you can change the light color. As for the glass material, you don't need to change the glass material. So if you want to render the glass in different color, you can change either the lights color or either the uh, the color of the electric material. So much depends on you, but always depends on you. Let's save this and call this Beauty 5. Is almost similar to the others, and let's finish with this. I'm gonna open Photoshop